Another tough test on the road for the Patriots this weekend. What's up, everybody? It's Mike Dussault, joined by Evan Lazar and Tamara Brown as we break down this weekend's Patriots game against the San Francisco 49ers. And guys, before we move to that, we're going to do our Take It or Leave It segment. Evan, I'm going to start with you. What are we leaving from the Jets' loss on Thursday Night Football?
Some choices here, Mike. I'm going to go with leaving the pass rush from that game against the Jets. Really felt like that was the biggest issue with the Patriots defense. I know tackling was also on the list, but just in terms of keeping Aaron Rodgers in the pocket and making it easier on that back end to cover all those receivers, you can't cover forever. So if you let the quarterback out of the pocket, let him run around and extend plays, that's going to make life difficult on Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Jones in the back end. So I'm looking for the Patriots to have a much more disciplined, coordinated approach to their pass rush this week.
All right, Tamara, not a lot to take from a 24-3 loss, but what are you taking from that Jets loss?
I'm taking the toughness of Jacoby Brissett. Sacked 5 times, hit double that amount. I want him to come out of that game keeping the same mental toughness that he had. He took a lot of hits, and he's a tough quarterback who I want to continue to see play throughout the rest of the season.
All right, I'm going to leave the tackling, and I'm going to take Pop Douglas. I get to choose both. I'm hosting here, right? My choice. Guys, let's move on to the 49ers game, though. Tough test for New England on the road. 49ers coming off 2 straight losses. Evan, just start with you. I know you're a Kyle Shanahan guy. They've got one of the best offenses in the league. Brock Purdy, some of his weapons are hurt. He's still managing to get it done.
Yeah, we'll see who plays in this game for the 49ers. That's obviously going to be important. But some of the things that they're doing a little bit differently, because I feel like at this point everybody understands the general roots of the Kyle Shanahan offense. Stretch outside zone, play action off of it. You know, that's how they kind of get their early down offense going. But they don't run as much play action these days as they once did. They only run 16% of the time with play action. That's 5th lowest in the league. They do a lot more check with me at the line of scrimmage, you know, based off of coverage and things like that, where Brock Purdy's canning plays. So get to the line of scrimmage, they're in single high defense. Let's get into a pass play, let's throw the ball. If it's a too high shell, let's run it down their throats. Like, that's a lot more of what they're doing now than just the play action stuff, sort of another way to go about it so that they're not just so predictable that everything is run, play action. So a little bit different from what they've done in the past, but still same roots, same bones as his father, all the way down to Kyle. Now Clint Kubiak in New Orleans, and everywhere else in between is running this offense. So outside zone, stretch zone, horizontally stretch the defense, and vertically attack them with play action. That's still going to be the bones of the playbook.
So Jordan Mason, Juwan Jennings, 2 guys stepping up in the absence of Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. We don't know about George Kittle this weekend, but clearly San Francisco has had some guys step up in their absence.
Yeah, next man up mentality. They're a team that truly has embraced that. Looking at Mason specifically, first 2 games he had 100 yards on the ground. Last week I think he had around 77. And then Juwan Jennings, a hat trick. He was absolutely outstanding against the Rams. Obviously they didn't come away with the win, but the Patriots defense definitely has their test cut out for them, especially without Juwan Bentley. Seeing them be able to stop the run is going to be huge.
Evan, I got to go back to you real quick because we talked about leaving things behind in the Jets game, and you were leaving behind the pass rush. I was leaving behind the tackling.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like if the Patriots don't get those 2 things right against this San Francisco offense?
It's a really the part about this offense that worries me the most is the run game, because they do horizontally stretch the defense extremely well, and they have great team speed on the offensive side of the football. So we've seen this matchup in the past as Belichick-style defense against these 49ers. Remember Jimmy G here a couple years, I think he threw like 3 passes past the line of scrimmage that entire game, and it's just, outside zone, Deebo on jet sweeps, screens to the outside, anything to try to get this Pats defense stretched out. And that's really where they're at their best. And you look at that run defense in the middle, not to pick on anybody, but the linebacker level, particularly without Juwan Bentley, just was nowhere near as good for the Patriots against the Jets. And that's what they're great at in San Francisco, is isolating those linebackers and getting hat on a hat. And then all of a sudden you have one guy in the hole that can really make the play. And if he doesn't make it, then Jordan Mason's off to the races. And that's what they do at best. And I worry about that a little bit in this matchup.
Let's flip to the other side. Fred Warner, one of my favorite players. They still got Nick Bosa. Unfortunate this week. Sounds like Javon Hargrave's going to be out. Really disruptive player. Tamara, we saw last weekend for these 49ers against the Rams, not quite able to hold on to a lead. Couple, big penalties, big passing plays. how is this defense not quite as good right now? It seems like they're 30th on third down, in the 20s in DVOA. Not quite the standard we're kind of used to with this San Francisco defense.
Honestly, I've got to give the props to Sean McVay in that one. He pulled a lot of tricks out of his hat to keep his team in the game, and I'm wondering if I'm the Patriots, do I do the same thing? Whether it's seeing Marcus Jones play offense, I don't know if you need to save his legs for special teams and defense, but I thought Sean McVay pulled a lot of tricks out of his hat to keep the Rams in this one. He took a lot of shots down the field as well to get pass interference called. I think the secondary is where he really exploited them. I think if the Patriots are able to exploit the 49ers secondary, they can get in this game.
All right, guys, last segment. One key Patriot for this matchup that you're watching on that you think will play a big role in this game this weekend. Tamara, who's your guy?
Ramondre Stevenson, the Patriots have to get back to their bread and butter. He only had 6 carries for 23 yards. I want him to have a clean game, no fumbles, and hopefully have a 100-yard performance.
Evan?
I'm sticking to a similar thing. I'm just going to go Alex Van Pelt. He's a little outside the box, but he even second-guessed himself a little bit on Friday, saying in hindsight the game plan against the Jets was a little backwards. Probably should have ran it first and then thrown it. This team is not built to throw to get the lead. Like, they're just not built that way. They can't have identity crises anymore. They have to go into this game, know who you are. I understand, we all talk about it all the time, that their winning formula has a ceiling. Like, they're not going to be able to win a lot of games like they did in week 1 against the Bengals, but for right now, that's their path to victory. So get the ball to Ramondre, get it to Antonio Gibson, run the dang ball, do that sort of thing, and then we can start worrying about play action and throwing the ball down the field. They got a little too cute with it last week, and they need to focus on their identity.
All right, I'm going with 2 players, David Andrews, Michael Onwenu, 2 veterans along the offensive line that have to lead the way, protecting Jacoby Brissett and opening up holes in the run game. Well, that's going to do it for us for this preview of Patriots 49ers. We'll be back next week with a preview for the Patriots as they welcome the Miami Dolphins here at home after 2 weeks away. We'll see you then.